Welcome to Ann Arbor, Michigan, here, otherwise known as the Big House, the site for this Week 1 showdown between the Miami Hurricanes and the Michigan Wolverines. I'm David Roy, in the booth with me tonight, as it has been so far this week, Mike Peters and Matt Pack. And gentlemen, the last time these two teams met, it was right here in this very same stadium, and the final score was 13-7, but I think we'll see a little bit more offense than that tonight. What about you guys?
Well, I sure hope so, because I don't know if I'll still be awake after a 13-7 game, but I think these two teams have changed things up a little bit. They got some new pieces, and I think they're both ready to come out and put on a show.
Well, Blaze Gunner starting with a show early out across midfield. Great opening return to see Axton Richardson, the transfer from Oregon to Miami, to take the field tonight.
Well, it was a good start, Matt. Hopefully Miami's offense can keep that going.
Well, you know, Axton Richardson has to love starting with this great field position that he has.
The Michigan 48, and Richardson out of the gun, looking to throw. Going to tuck it and run right into the Michigan defensive line, and it's a 4-yard loss.
Oh, man, that looked a lot like Jose Bueno back there starting off. We saw Richardson at Oregon last year, but takes off first play, runs into the line, gets bottled up and down for the sack.
Yeah, maybe something in the water in Miami. I don't really know what it is. It's a long season ahead. You know,
well, it's not what's in the water.
It might be something in the medication.
Right.
So Miami, who started this drive on the Michigan side of midfield, now backed up to their side of the 50, and they'll start in the gun again. Richardson has to throw it away into the Michigan sideline. So far, that early kick return momentum not working out for the offense.
Well, you don't want to waste that either. You get a great spark plug to jump start the game, and then if you sputter, it kind of takes a little bit away from you.
Of an empty backfield, Richardson over to the right side, and Jay Nathaniel, in his CFSL debut, moves the chains.
Well, the 4-star comes open there behind the cornerback. We see it, and bails Miami out. They go 2 pretty much negative plays in a row, and then they bail out on the long pass where they beat the zone there.
Well, that was a dart, too, for Richardson. He drilled that one in there.
Michael Ropine was there to bring Nathaniel down immediately, but it's a first down inside the Michigan 35, and Richardson will call for Jay Nathaniel to come in motion and join him in the backfield for the triple option. Richardson keeps it to the inside, a little power there to get the first down.
Well, they needed a block out there from Owsley, and he wasn't able to get it. Otherwise, Richardson might still be running. Tight end wasn't able to get the block, but still a nice play.
Back in the gun, and the tight end Owsley in motion. The give, Marcus Duncan, his first carry of the night, spinning forward for 10.
And that's what I want to see more of out of Miami. Get Duncan involved, use the run game, use it to set up the pass. Axton Richardson doesn't have to do it all by himself. He's got great help in the backfield.
From inside the 15, inches to go for a new set of downs, and receiver will join in the backfield for another triple option, and the pitch and read beautifully by the Michigan defense.
Well, Raheem Darka is the one that gets back there and blows that one up. Singer's the one. I'm surprised he didn't lose that.
Well, I mean, it looked like he was going for Richardson. Richardson makes the pitch, and he just completely bypasses him and just nailed the running back.
Another empty backfield here for the Hurricanes as Richardson throwing left side. The pass caught by Nathaniel, Andre Woodard, who gets 7.
Woodard was moonwalking a little bit after he made that catch. I like to see him turn and go the other way.
Yeah, he should go forward when he catches the ball. But again, Miami, first game.
There's things to be said about being stuck in reverse, I guess.
In the gun, Richardson going to tuck it and run, found a crease, shrugging off the defensive line before Michael Ropine can get in and help bring him down.
Richardson, he's tried to take off run a few times. He had a good run on the triple option. His scrambling leaves a little bit to be desired. He's going to need to improve that a little bit as the game and season goes along.
2 tight ends on the field here as Richardson throwing end zone touchdown, Woodard.
Well, nice dart right over the middle there, Matt. He finds his receiver on the crossing route, and even though they struggled at the start of this drive, they eventually capitalized on that nice return.
Well, and that play happened so quick, Mike. He snaps the ball, and Woodard is just already there on his route. Axton Richardson knew where he was looking first, and he got to him.
So Dakota Groza coming out onto the field here for the Hurricanes to make it a 7-point game. And now we get another look at the Michigan offense. First time of the season, though, but a backfield that returns Tanner Jones and Dior Chapman, 2 sophomores who looked really good last season as freshmen. Chapman, very similar season to Marcus Duncan of Miami.
They're very similar running backs. The one thing we got to watch for in this game and as the season goes along is Michigan went with an air raid. They went with a spread last year, which was, I thought, more suited to their personnel. Tanner Jones is a great running quarterback. We haven't seen him be great passing. He's going to need to in this air raid look.
Setting up the halfback screen and read well. Miami all over Dior Chapman for an incompletion.
Well, Joseph Hart just read that thing from the start. That play never had a chance of getting going.
Jones back in the gun with a 2-by-2 look, and they'll motion Chapman out of the backfield to the left. Jones trying to stand in, and he will throw to the left sideline for Chapman, who breaks one, hit hard, and a flag on the play.
Illegal touching.
So he goes out of bounds there and comes back in, doesn't establish himself, and then he gets called for the foul. So a nice gain gets negated, and now they're going to see a long 3rd and 15. Not the spot you want to be in.
No, they just a couple of miscues early here for the Wolverines.
So a long 3rd down for Tanner Jones out of a pistol, and another halfback screen. Dior Chapman with some blocking and a crease, but he goes to the sideline instead, gets 8, but it's not enough to convert.
I don't love that play call. I understand it, 3rd and long. You're just trying to play field position a little bit, but I think he stayed outside too long. If he cuts back inside, maybe he's got a little bit more and a chance of that first.
Well, I would like that a lot better if it wasn't the second one they called on that drive.
Also a good point. Wide receivers, or the halfback screen could be the death of you.
Blaze Gunner, a little fight
I'm going
there.
to call it right now. Blaze Gunner is going to return a punt for a touchdown.
This season or tonight?
Tonight.
Okay.
I don't know. The way he's returning it, I just feel like it's coming. See if Moonlight Swami or the Swami, whatever he's got me. Moonlight Swami, he's a YouTuber.
Moonlight Swami.
Decent return, though, and so again, decent field position here for Richardson and the Hurricanes. They capitalize on their first drive as Richardson steps up and throws it away, 2nd and 10.
Well, he's starting off a little shaky again. You want to see him start the drive with a little bit more momentum. He got the touchdown on the last one, so he rebounded. We'll see what he does here.
The pistol look, Richardson, 4-man rush, steps up and checks it down. Marcus Duncan on the right sideline, hit hard by Cletus Castle.
Well, Cletus Castle comes in, big middle linebacker, nominated for Defensive Player of the Year last year, and just absolutely nails him there on the sideline. He gets held up a little bit there, and Castle comes in and just cleans him up.
It was Juice Staley got to him first and held him up a little bit, but if Michigan lays hits like that, they might need the smelling salts or that special medicine on the sideline.
I'm sure they got plenty of it.
Trips bottom of the screen. The give on the counter. Marcus Duncan, plenty of running room to get it across the Michigan 35. Gain of 11. Only 2 carries for him so far.
Well, Duncan, 792 yards, average 5.3, also had 10 touchdowns. Very effective back. I'd like to see him used a lot, especially the read option, which has been looking good so far.
They'll go back to Duncan here on another 1st down, and this time held to a 1-yard run. Really good contained by the Wolverines.
Well, the blocking just didn't set up for him right there. Michigan outran the blocking scheme, and were able to corral Duncan on that one.
Richardson to throw, gonna tuck it and run to the right, cuts up field, down that right hash, and Castle greets him after a gain of 8.
Well, Richardson takes off and runs there. He's not a little guy. 6'1", 195. He looks a lot bigger than that. Kind of like Voodoo Tatum. He always called Sasquatch. He looks a little bit bigger than that. He takes him head on. You expect a lot of these quarterbacks slide now. He's not scared of it. He'll take on that contact.
Empty backfield again for the Hurricanes on 3rd down, and so far they've been perfect in these 3rd down situations as Richardson converts again, this time to Jay Nathaniel for 9 yards.
Well, what I like what Richardson's doing here is that he's mixing it up. He's going to Nathaniel. He's going to Woodard. And then he's mixed in the runs also with Duncan. So it's, Miami's doing a good job keeping the Wolverines guessing here.
In the gun with Duncan to his left, and a play fake, throw over the middle. The tight end Owsley breaks one, tripped up at the 2.
Owsley almost made up for that missed block on the previous drive as he almost gets the touchdown, but it's going to be a 1st and goal inside the 5. And like you mentioned before, Matt, they're doing a good job of mixing up the receivers. They're using a lot of different weapons, and it's keeping Michigan off balance. We've seen that with a lot of the teams this week that have won. They've been able to do that. Right now, Miami's doing a good job at that.
So the ball spotted at the 2, 1st and goal to go. Richardson on the midline read, and the easy 6 for the Hurricanes.
Well, and Miami starting just exactly like they want to. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Michigan look good in spurts on defense, but they keep giving up 3rd down conversions, and that's what's killing them right now. And also that 3 and out on offense obviously didn't help much.
Well, the field position's also hurting Michigan as Miami started with excellent field position on both of their drives, and they converted it. And Michigan, if they're not going to score, they're going to at least need to play better field position and pin Miami back and make them drive more the length of the field. They want to try to prevent them from scoring.
On the return, fighting for yards, Tim Benjamin gets 20 out of it. And so, as you point out, it was a 3 and out for Michigan on their opening drive, and all of a sudden, trailing by 14. What needs to change already on their second drive?
Well, they're going to need to start picking up first downs, and they might want to start looking at taking some shots downfield.
Jones out of a play fake, and he throws over the middle, high pass, and it falls incomplete.
Well, just, it was an ill-advised pass. Coverage was there. He throws it, tries to keep it away from the defender, but it's just kind of a wasted down.
In the gun, 2 tight ends to the left of the formation. Going to split one of them out, one of them being Cletus Castle. As Jones over the middle finds Trey Greer, who gets 5.
Well, they're going with a lot of short stuff right now, and that is kind of the air raid attack. It's a lot of short and medium range stuff, but they're going to have to spread out the Miami defense because they're expecting it right now.
Jones to throw against a 3-man rush, and a quick throw over the middle. Dior Chapman can't hold on. And another 3 and out by the looks of things for the Wolverines.
Well, Dior Chapman was in a no-win situation right there. His quarterback throws it to him behind what they need for the first down, and then there are 2 Miami Hurricanes on top of him, so he's not able to haul the ball in.
Michigan will punt it away and likely gifting Blaze Gunner and the Hurricanes with really good starting field position as Gunner gets it across midfield down to the Michigan 45. And guys, right now, Miami, with the way their offense looks, they could go up 21-0 still here in the first.
Well, and again, they're across midfield to start this drive. They don't have far to go. Even to get 3 points, they only need about 15 yards. And Michigan's really got to change something here. They need their defense to step up big.
Richardson to throw on 1st and 10. He'll tuck it and run instead. Able to get away from 1, fights through the tackle to get 14.
He's going to have to learn to slide, I think. Michael Fisher does a good job making that tackle, but I'm worried that eventually they're going to rip one of these out.
Pistol set, Richardson. Going to call for the receiver to come in motion. It's Blaze Gunner, and they give it to Duncan right up the middle. Marcus Duncan getting 6 yards this time.
Well, it's just like a well-oiled machine right now for this Hurricane offense. They use the run, they're using the pass. Richardson's taking off some on his own, and so far, Michigan does not have an answer for it.
3 wide, 2 receivers top the screen. Richardson with a blitz in his face. Fires over the middle. Blaze Gunner, his first catch of the night, goes for 9 yards and a first down.
Well, Juice Staley's in cover, and he's their best defender as far as cornerbacks, the 5-star in his second season, but not able to contain Gunner on that one.
Richardson to throw, 1st and 10. Quick throw into the flats, and Owsley with a spinning catch gets pushed out of bounds at the 5, a gain of 11, and another 1st and goal.
And Axton Richardson just keeps doing what he's been doing, mixing it up. This time finds the tight end on the quick out, picks up another first. It's 1st and goal.
The gun, Richardson throwing middle, pass broken up.
Well, nice job there by Ropeen. He had to reach out. Would have been nice for the Michigan defense if he could have made a one-handed interception. He bats it down, but this defense has got to step up. You do not want to go down 21-0 in the first quarter.
Richardson throwing end zone, touchdown Hurricane.
Well, I believe it was the Prophet Jagger said that you don't always get what you want, and that's exactly what happened for Michigan right here. They're down 21 here in the first quarter with 2:28 left, and Miami showing no signs of slowing down right now.
Well, Michigan's offense beat an air raid in pass attack. They are set up to move the ball and potentially come back from down like this, but the thing you really got to worry about if you're Michigan is your defense doesn't look like they can stop a nosebleed right now. Miami is moving it at will. They're also getting excellent field position. Michigan is going to have to start by at least shifting field position on this drive.
This return out to the 30 by Juice Staley. And so now you've talked about it. This Michigan offense got to figure something out, but this Miami defense been playing lights out. They've only given up 13 yards to the Wolverines offensively.
Yeah, a pair of 3 and outs. That's not the way you want to start.
This drive will begin from the Michigan 31 and from the right hash. 4 wide, trip stop the screen, and Jones looking short and able to hold on is Trey Jackson for a gain of 3.
And it's just the same thing again. I don't know. At one point I thought maybe they're setting them up for a shot. Maybe at this point it seems like this is just what they're going to. They keep going to these little short passes. Where's the Dior Chapman run? Where's, anything to get this Miami defense a little bit off balance.
Spotted here, the 33-yard line. 2:05 to play here in this opening quarter. As Jones, halfback screen to the field side, and Chapman trying to get outside, but the Miami defense much too quick to allow that. It's a loss of 1.
Michigan doesn't look prepared for this game right now. I mean, Chapman tries to go outside. He cuts inside. He's got blockers, but for whatever reason, he thinks he wants to go to the outside. And playing at home in the opening night of the CFSL, or their opening night here at home, and they just don't look like they're fully prepared for this, which is kind of a shock for this team.
Miami brings a blitz, and they get home, but Jones able to get rid of it, and it was picked off on the sideline, but ruled incomplete.
Well, that was a heck of a play. I didn't see who came down with it, but wow.
I mean, the ball was there, got let out of bounds. I didn't see who came down with it either, but that's the first legitimate shot past the marker they've taken all night.
So another 3 and out for the Michigan Wolverines, and Blaze Gunner on the return. Cannot quite get to the outside edge. He was looking for a big return, and so far, while he's not quite having the big return he had on the kick return, his offense is having a big night.
Well, and they're starting with great field position, as we've mentioned. And once again, out across the 40, they got a short field. Michigan's defense got to come up with something.
Fourth drive of the night for the Hurricanes, and it will start with a pass that Richardson turns into a quarterback scramble all the way out across midfield, a gain of 15.
I sure thought that ball was coming out there, man.
Well, he took a big hit there. Again, I'm with you. I'd like to see Richardson slide some more. It just doesn't seem to be in his DNA right now. He just wants to take everything head on.
You know, you got to respect it to some degree, but you got to be a little nervous if you're the coaching staff. Now, granted, we don't want to see you slide with the wide open field like we saw last night, but got to be careful with the football.
Richardson pumps, taking a shot to the right side, jump ball, and it is caught. Nathaniel down to the 5.
Well, Jay Nathaniel is announcing himself. The 4-star freshman is looking amazing early on, 70 yards receiving just in the first quarter, and he's looking like maybe the go-to receiver. Blaze Gunner is the one that you expect, but it's all Jay Nathaniel right now.
Well, Nathaniel matched up against Staley. He had the touchdown on the previous drive.
Yeah, he's looking really good, and he is exploiting the mismatch that they're finding in the secondary.
2-by-2 set here for the Hurricanes, and it's 1st and goal to go again. Richardson, the give, Marcus Duncan up 27 now to nothing.
Well, you know, if you're Michigan, I guess go in after the first quarter and say, all right, let's pretend like that didn't happen. Let's start from scratch, because not much went right for the Wolverines here in the first quarter at all. But they got to get it out of their head. They got to start making a play at a time.
Well, and we all thought in the exhibition game that Miami looked really good, but I don't think any of us in here expected this to be the outcome so early on in the first quarter.
No, Michigan's got some good returning players. You know, Juice Staley, Cletus Castle being the biggest one. They've added some nice pieces on defense like Cy Spikes and Logan Simmons. They got some new receivers in Tim Benjamin, which we haven't really seen, along with some returners in Trey Greer and Trey Jackson. And right now, it's just the offense is too conservative. They're not clicking well. The defense looks befuddled. They just don't have it together.
For an air raid offense, they've only mustered 15 yards here so far as Jones takes a shot into traffic, and Isaac Kraut bats it away.
And every ball that Tanner Jones tries to push downfield now, it seems like Miami's on it and they're getting a hand on it.
From their own 27, and on 2nd and 10, Jones dancing, shakes off the sack, takes a shot, deep downfield, broken up by Kraut again.
I mean, he's looking like a magician getting away from these sacks, but then he's almost throwing interceptions every time. Tanner Jones is he did not spend his offseason wisely, apparently.
Jones pumps left, looks to throw, comes over the middle, pass caught, Tim Benjamin, and the first down of the night and 3rd down conversion of the night for the Wolverines.
Well, you got to start somewhere, David. You have to start with something, and that's what you get. You get the first down, you get your first conversion. Yeah, you don't even look at the scoreboard right now. You just try to keep making plays, you try to keep driving the ball down the field, and you try to put points up, and then your defense comes out, and they have to do their job.
Ball spotted now at the Michigan 44. 4 wide, trips top the screen, and Jones going to tuck it and run. Able to get away from one, but then will slide down after a gain of 2.
I would like to see him run a little bit more. That's maybe what he's most dangerous at, And he's using a lot of short passes, which he doesn't have the biggest arm. He's going to have to do. They're going to have to threaten with the run, though.
And that is how we end the first quarter, and shockingly so, Miami out in front 28-0, but the Michigan Wolverines with time ahead of them to mount a comeback. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Start of the second quarter, and Jones, quick throw out of the backfield. That's Castle, who holds on despite a big hit for 6 yards.
Cletus Castle, a big middle linebacker. They're going to play on offense, and he's going to get some reps back there. We talked about this throughout the week with the fatigue being the way it is now. We've seen some players that miss time late in games. You got to wonder if that's going to affect Michigan later on, even though right now it's looking good for them.
Yeah.
That was inspiring commentary, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tanner Jones under center for the first time here tonight on 3rd and 2. Play fake. And a quick throw to Cletus Castle on the flats, who picks up the first down, a gain of 7.
They're building up a little bit of momentum, so that's good. They used the play fake there. I like to see that. They're still keeping it short. I like to see something. They don't have to really air it out deep, because I don't know if that's Tanner Jones' game, but even a 15-yard post route or a comeback or something like that would be nice.
Trips bottom of the screen here. Jones going to tuck it and run again. Has some room, and then met by David Ware and crunched by Griffin Richardson.
Well, and again, I like Tanner Jones taking off right there. He doesn't see what he likes. He sees a hole, takes off, makes it a short second down.
Inches to go to move the chains, and Jones to throw to the right sideline. Trey Jackson coming up with 12 yards.
Well, a good thing for Jones, it seems like he's finding a little bit of a rhythm now. He's running the ball, he's picking up some yards with his feet, he's starting to find his receivers open, so that's good, and it's still early in this game.
Hand off here, Dior Chapman cuts back to the right, gets 2, but he has been limited on carries tonight.
Well, that was his first one. That's one rush for 2 yards for Dior Chapman so far tonight. Not been a big part of the Wolverines' game plan.
Well, I don't think he's going to be in this air raid scheme.
From the gun on 2nd down and 8, ball spotted at the 18. And a draw play, Chapman cuts it back to the left, but great recovery there by the defense.
Gilbert Wilkerson is the one that gets in there, and he shakes off the block and just good pursuit, just gets over there, drags him down, and forces the 3rd and 9. 2 for 5 on 3rd downs, haven't been great. We'll see what they can do here.
2 backs in the backfield here is Dior Chapman getting some rest on the sideline. And a halfback screen for Cletus Castle. Works about as well as you'd expect. It's a loss of 1.
Yeah, he's a linebacker. He's not a swift and nimble running back. And, I think what we're seeing in this league, there's a lot of guys that are trying to be two-way players, but maybe they shouldn't be. And they're getting maybe thrown out there a little bit too often. It's a nice little change of pace. Not everybody can be OPP.
No, and the thing about it is, it's not that they don't have the talent. It's that it just wears on you as the game goes on. You're taking hits on both sides.
Well, I would venture to say that the reason Cletus Castle is a linebacker, not a tight end, is probably because his hands and somewhat of his athleticism.
He wasn't exactly dancing his way around on that pitch.
He was not. Carter Cook at 275 pounds danced more last night than Cletus Castle.
Michigan's able to come away with points, and Blaze Gunner out across to the 26-yard line. At this point, Miami's up by 25. And you don't expect that the offense is going to say, you know what, we're good. Let's take the foot off the gas a little bit.
I wouldn't expect it. We haven't seen it yet this week, and that's kind of saying something, as all of the games have been pretty close, and all of the teams that are up have kind of tried to stay with their pedal on the gas, and I suspect that Miami's going to do, especially here in the second quarter.
Gunn and Richardson throwing over the middle of the field, and that pass caught, working his way forward for a gain of 17 is Woodard.
And Woodard, again, a pair of these, him and Jay Nathaniel doing the bulk of the work, it seems like, for the Hurricanes right now, but they just keep finding ways to get open. Richardson's finding them, picking up first downs.
You can't really say enough about this Miami offense. It kind of reminds me of what we saw with Ohio State last night. They're just so crisp offensively right now.
First down and 10, ball spotted at the 43 for the Hurricanes, and a read option keeper, Richardson, has blocking down the left sideline, a foot race with Ropine, and Ropine will drag him down at the Michigan 22.
Richardson's got some athleticism, ran for 350 yards and 8 touchdowns last season at Oregon, and he gets out there, gets good block, and shows his vision and acceleration, and Ropine just able to chase him down. But it's an added dimension to this Miami offense, and it's one that Michigan is not doing a really good job of contending with.
Pistol sent for the Hurricanes. Owls lead the tight end in motion. And the give to Marcus Duncan to the inside, hit hard by Cletus Castle.
Well, Castle isn't out of gas yet.
Well, no, that's where he's supposed to be at. That playing that linebacker spot and blowing up running backs. That's what Cletus Castle was built to do.
It was actually John Hill Jordan who came down and applied the sticker to Marcus Duncan's shoulder pads as Richardson to throw. Short to the right side. There's Owsley fighting for it, and there's Castle with the tackle. A gain of 5, first and goal.
How many plays have gone backwards for this team? It does not many, because
no.
everything's moving forward.
Their first play, they lost 4 yards. It's been all forward since, as Richardson on the read option keeper in for the touchdown.
And there we go again. Miami got the ball 5 times. They scored 5 touchdowns, Mike. I don't know what else to really say about that.
Well-oiled machine is one way you can characterize it. We're not even halfway through the second quarter, and they've already put up 35 points. I'm kind of at a loss for words.
Not the what we were expecting. I expected Miami to come out and look good. This is not the showing I was expecting from Michigan in week 1.
The kick is away, and it will be kneeled in the end zone for a touchback. And we'll take this opportunity to give a shout out to everybody joining us tonight in the live chat. Dead Dude Bernie, Tyler Deathridge, Eric Mears, Matthew Moyer, Josh Clayton, Devin Davis, Corey Dickerson, Isaiah Fowler, FB Rankings, Eric Mears, Mike Lewis, Ron Newman, Ray Tate, Dorian Cope, Juby, and Sir Swindle Donut as Jones over the middle for Dior Chapman, a gain of 6.
I want to know who Sir Swindle Donut is.
I'm not sure who Sir Swindle Donut is, but I'm sure he's an interesting fellow.
I would say, I think so with a name like that.
Hopefully that is a mystery we can solve before the end of the game tonight, as Jones trying to solve the Miami defense with a shot downfield for Trey Greer.
Well, Trey Greer, the 3-star, gets out there and has to make a diving, actually 4-star, has to make a diving catch. But a good throw there nonetheless for Tanner Jones, and Greer does a good job adjusting to it. The first real big play that Michigan's had tonight.
It's a 31-yard pickup, and Trey Greer and Perry Pinella, the Miami defense, they were the only 2 remaining players on each team who played when these 2 teams faced each other a couple seasons ago, as Jones tucks it, runs, and slides for a gain of 9.
I like the slide right there. You say, oh, we'll try to get the first. No. Tanner Jones, not the biggest dude out there. You don't want him coughing the ball up. Slide. It's 2nd and 1. You got Dior Chapman in the backfield. Pick up your first there.
Yeah, Tanner Jones only 5'9", 175.
Jones pumps left, throws back to that left side. There's Trey Jackson who moved the sticks, a gain of 2.
Well, they got the first down, and then they're moving the ball. They're moving it downfield. They got to get touchdowns, though. I mean, they're not technically out of it. Miami put up 35. Michigan seemingly could do that and hold them, but they got to start getting touchdowns.
A huge hit on Trey Greer. He got clotheslined by Griffin Richardson.
It's hard seeing that number 35 and not thinking of just in time.
It really is after the other night, but Griffin Richardson making a name for himself with that hit. Goodness gracious, coming straight at him.
I think Trey Greer had to dig himself out of the turf there.
Yeah, he's got some dirt in his helmet and other places.
I'd like to say that Greer had flashbacks to the last time he played Miami, but in that game he only had 1 catch, and it's what kept Michigan from being shut out in that game. To end it was a 67-yard touch as Jones finds him here. This one a 20-yard touchdown to Trey Greer.
Trey Greer is getting hot, and Tanner Jones is starting to heat up a little bit. He's starting to look better, running the ball well. Now he's throwing the ball well. I mean, they've got a big hole they got to dig out. Their defense is going to help them out, but at least their offense is starting to click.
Well, exactly. Like I said, that's what they've got to put points on the board quick. It was now it's 35-10. It's a 25-point game. Your defense has to come out and say, all right, our offense is trying to get us back in this. Now we have to stop the bleeding. We have to put clamps down on this on Miami. Force a punt. Get them off the field.
The problem is, how do you force a punt out of Miami at this point, especially with the way that their offense has been working and running so effectively and efficiently?
Well, the thing of it is you have to – they've made adjustments on offense, and those adjustments have worked. What I'd like to see him do on defense is maybe try to put a little more pressure on Richardson. Don't give him as much time to sit back there and throw. And then you've got to be better in coverage.
Woodard comes in motion and gets the give on the end around, breaks a tackle, and then John Hill Jordan there to drag him down. It's an 8-yard pickup, though, for the Hurricanes.
Miami's just using a nice mix of plays. They're mixing up a lot of, giving the defense a lot of different looks, keeping them off balance, and Michigan just hasn't had enough to stop them.
The gun and the midline read. Richardson breaks one and into the open field. Axton Richardson in a foot race with Michael Ropine, who will drag him down at the Michigan 15-yard line.
Well, that's going to put Axton Richardson up close to 150 yards rushing here in the first half. He breaks it down the sideline there. I thought he was going to go all the way. Ropine does a great job of dropping him, but I tell you what, man, Miami, they're blocking well, and they're running good routes. They're playing good fundamental offensive football, and it is working.
Richardson under center here, strong eye to the right, 3-step drop and a swing to Marcus Duncan, fighting for the first down marker, and they'll give it to him.
Well, he got it. He fought hard for it there. Had a hard time going down. He gets just enough to get the first down. It's going to be first and goal inside to 5. Michigan, they drive down the field. They get a touchdown, and Miami doesn't care. They're driving right back down the field themselves.
From the gun, trips top the screen. Richardson looking, going to tuck it and run, and down he goes, sacked for a loss of 3.
Well, Percy Gunn getting in there. Finally, it's like the first time since the first play of the game that the defense has stepped up.
Well, that's exactly it. You know, they've got to make 3 plays in a row like that, though, Mike. I mean, you know, bat a pass down, get a turnover, do something.
They're going to need several turnovers if they want to come back in this game. And right now, Michigan just doesn't look like they want to give anything up.
Strong eye to the left, 3-step drop. Richardson swinging it back to that side, and Isaac Crowd pushed out of bounds at the 1.
Well, I thought we were going to see another swing pass touchdown. We've seen 2 already this week, but good job by the defense to rally there.
And that's Isaac Crowd showing up on offense for the Hurricanes.
3rd and goal. Richardson in the gun. To his right is Duncan. He gives it to him, and Duncan will power his way in for 6.
You can call it powering if you want, and I mean that's a correct term. But he kind of could have walked in there at that point. It looked to me like there was Michigan, just the hole opened and Duncan could just kind of stroll into the end zone.
Well, so I think the question becomes now, is Miami the odds-on favorite? So far, it's hard to say that they're not the most dominant team that we've seen. Now, granted, we don't know what we're going to get from Michigan the rest of the season, but I would say that people are going to start calling for Miami to be looked at as the favorite now this season, the way they're playing right now.
Well, if nobody else does, Miami's going to. That's for sure. I mean, Oregon might have something to say about it, but you know, again, it's hard to argue with what we're seeing on the field right now. Miami just doesn't look like Michigan is going to be able to stop them all night long on offense. Michigan's put a couple of drives together against this defense, but it's just not been close to enough.
Well, and a couple of weeks ago, we said on the podcast that we thought Miami was going to come out of the SEC and was going to be the team to make the national championship for that SEC conference. And, you know, during the broadcast for the exhibition game, the conversation was that Miami and Oregon was a preview of the national championship game this season.
It could be. I like how Matt said that unless some other teams, meaning maybe his own, playing tomorrow, he didn't want to. He wouldn't want to take anything away from his own team, but I mean, Miami's looking great right now. Michigan started to look good on offense, if nothing else. If they at least get their offense clicking and build some momentum, you know, it's a non-conference game, so it can be rebounded from.
Tanner Jones dancing in the pocket, but he'll get sacked for a loss of 2. And we've talked about the Miami offense, how good they've looked, and now this Miami defense saying, hey, you know, there's another side to this that we're playing lights out too.
Well, they're starting to pin their ears back a little bit now. You know, they've got this big lead, 32 points. And, you know, Tanner Jones does some juking and jiving, trying to get loose here, trying to find a way to, but there's just nowhere for him to go. Miami just closes down, collapses on him.
Well, they're holding an air raid offense to only 10 points, so, I mean, that's a pretty impressive feat in and of itself.
From the gun, Jones looking to convert on 3rd down, stands in, delivers a shot to the wide open Trey Jackson, dragged down at the 5.
Well, we said it before that Tanner Jones' game isn't really throwing the deep ball, but he's actually been most effective throwing it deep, at least in the second quarter.
From the gun, Jones looking, throwing, back corner of the end zone, batted away.
I couldn't tell how that went. You know, it looked like the ball, I thought Michigan was going to come down with it, but Miami's able to knock it free at the last minute.
From the gun, 2 tight ends to the top of the screen, and then they'll bring Castle in motion. Jones throwing middle, caught, touchdown.
I don't know how he threaded that one in there. Double coverage. I didn't like the throw when it first came out of his hands, but he puts it in there just right, leads Benjamin just enough, who had a step. Speedy receiver out there, and they get the touchdown. So Michigan is rallying now. Their offense is doing what they need to, but their defense just does not have what they need to do to solve this Miami offense.
How do you solve this Miami offense at this point? With what they've shown tonight and the balance and the explosiveness, what is the solution?
Well, now it's just, I think, just about grit. Like, now it's just certain players just stepping up and saying, look, this is not going to happen. They need a Cletus Castle. They need a John Hill Jordan. One of these guys to step up. Michael Ropine, who we've seen chase down Richardson a couple times. Somebody needs to step up and just start making plays. I mean, that's what they need.
To be fair, I think Tom Pence would like the answer to that because Miami plays Florida State next week. Richardson looking, steps up and delivers a pass over the middle, but it will not reach its intended target.
Well, he kind of threw that off his back foot, and did a good job keeping it away from the defense, but not the best pass Richardson's made all night.
Richardson to throw again. He'll tuck it and run this time, breaks one tackle, and then is sacked for a loss of one.
Well, they're doing a better job now. They're forcing him into a long third down. They're not giving him as many open spaces, forcing him to run. Now can they get him off the field here on this long third down?
The gun, Richardson to throw, setting up a halfback screen. Marcus Duncan with some blocking, but actually blocking the defender into him was his offensive line. So now Miami will punt for the first time tonight.
Well, again, good first stop by Michigan. First one they've got the whole game. They're going to get decent field position out of this most likely. Well, they will.
A muffed punt, and Tim Benjamin will dive on top of it. So Michigan will begin from their own 35-yard line.
Kind of a microcosm of the way it's been going tonight for Michigan.
On the gun, Jones trips top the screen. He'll look to throw against a four-man rush. And a quick throw for Benjamin, who gets decked by David Ware.
Well, I like that they're going underneath here. They've hit him deep a few times. Now they're going underneath. Maybe open up another deep shot.
Go no huddle. Jones throwing the middle of the field. Pass caught. Owen Ryan, the tight end, makes an appearance.
That'll stop the clock, allow the offense to set up. Gives Michigan some more time.
First and 10. Jones looking, going back to the middle. There's Benjamin again. Another first down for the Wolverines.
Well, they're moving the ball. They're getting first downs. They're keeping the chains moving. They're stopping the clock while they're doing it. Again, they've looked good in the second quarter moving the ball.
Jones going to the right sideline this time, and they'll mark it incomplete, saying he was out of bounds when he caught it.
Well, I think they've gone short enough now that now you can maybe take a shot deep. They got a cover three look coming out there. Not the best for a deep shot, but maybe an out route or a comeback.
Jones gets sacked. David Ware on the blitz to bring him down.
Well, and the blocking just gave out on Tanner Jones right there. He never had that chance. Never had that play never had a chance to develop.
Inside of a minute, off a no huddle, swing pass right side. Cletus Castle able to get by, and then Isaac Crouch showing him this is what happens on the offensive side of things.
Well, they were looking good, and then they kind of fell apart there. Now we're going to see if they can convert this 51-yard field goal, make it a 22-point game at the half. Cassius Castle was 12 of 13 last season, so he could potentially knock this one home.
Well, Michigan's going to let the time run out, too, not going to give this Miami offense a chance to add to their total.
Well, I mean, I think that's a good decision, too. 22-point lead at the half is not insurmountable. We haven't seen somebody come back from that and actually win a game. Things can change. You never know. But they're at least starting to chip away at it.
So they will snap it with 4 seconds on the clock, and Castle pushes it through to make it that 22-point game that Michigan would like to see get erased in the second half.
Well, now the key thing is you don't give up a kick return.
They will kick it, and it will be kneeled in the end zone for a touchback by Isaac Crouch. So the Miami offense can just come out, kneel it, and say, let's go to half.
I don't think they're going to, though.
Out comes Axton Richardson, pistol set, and a give to Marcus Duncan outside to the left. And that is how we end the opening half. And it has been a doozy of an opening half, especially for the Miami Hurricanes.
Oh, they got to like what they're seeing. I mean, outside of the one punt, they were really unstoppable in that first half, moving the ball. Michigan started the rally offensively in the second quarter, but the defense Still hasn't really figured it out.
Well, the defense is still playing catch up for Michigan. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes in this game, we see as a team, you have a quarter that gets completely away from you, and then it puts you in a hole, and you can look great the rest of the game, but you're having to try to battle your way back the entire time. And we've seen some teams do it. We've seen some come close. Michigan has figured it out on offense. They found the gear that they're looking for. Their defense got the one stop. They've got to try to continue to do what they did earlier. They've got to, just keep Miami in front of them. Don't allow them to get first down. Stop them on third, and give themselves a chance. Turnovers are huge. Any kind of second chance plays that they can get.
They're going to need at least a couple of turnovers, I think, in the second half.
Turnovers have been few and far between so far this season. You look at the two offenses, and Michigan's starting to find their legs through the air, but the Miami offense has been really impressive. Over 360 yards in that first half alone.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job running the ball, passing the ball. They're using a lot of different looks. And as we said, they're keeping Michigan off balance defensively. And, as we said at the end of the second quarter, Michigan's just going to need some players to step up and make some plays. Could come from the defensive line up front. If Sly Spikes and Logan Simmons can create some pressure, force some bad throws, maybe get a sack, strip sack, something like that, then you can start to see things turn around a little bit. But until that defense gets some stops or forces a turnover, Michigan's just constantly playing from behind.
Michigan will begin with the ball in their possession. And at this point, when you're down by 22, coming out of the second half, you got to start making these drives really count, as Juice Staley a hurdle to help him get out to the 35, and that's where Tanner Jones and company will begin.
All right, well, Michigan, we see here on the drives, they made a field goal, touchdown, another field goal. So their last 4 drives, they have scored. They're right, they're getting on the right track here. They've come out on fire, it looks like. Let's see if they can keep it going.
Jones with trips to the bottom of the screen and a bubble screen to that side, but it falls incomplete. Wanted Trey Jackson, and Isaac Kraut said, nuh-uh.
Well, they try to go with a little, almost like a swing pass out there. It's okay, starting it short. I've liked the way they've gone short and then taken shots deep. It's been working for them. We'll see if they can execute it more.
Floats that, leaves it up high for Cletus Castle, has to climb the ladder to get it, and gets 8.
Well, Cletus Castle he makes a nice catch midair there, does a good job rolling forward, spending a lot of energy.
The gun and 2x2 look, the give, Dior Chapman, a first down out to the 49.
I like the run there on 3rd and 2. A lot of teams will come out, especially in an air raid, and try to pass it, but they run it there. Gives Miami something to think about on those 3rd downs going forward.
2x2 set, Tanner Jones looking to throw. Dancing in the pocket, and he's going to swing it out for Dior Chapman, who's driven backwards for a loss of 3. Griffin Richardson there to stop him.
Just took too long to develop. Miami's able to get guys out there watching Chapman on that swing pass, and by the time Tanner Jones throws it, Miami's already reacting. They don't go for the pick. They just keep Jones they keep Chapman in front of them and just take him down for the loss.
Well, they go with the check down there, but you got to look at it. They had 2 receivers and 3 defenders. Not a good numbers advantage there.
Split Cletus Castle up into the slot on the left as Jones going to swing it to Chapman underneath. No gain for the Wolverines, and a 3rd down here for them.
It was almost the same thing they just did.
This is looking like early first quarter what Michigan was doing, and they've got to get back to what they were doing later in the first half.
3 wide, 2 receivers top the screen. Jones gets a 3-man rush, floating it to the left side, batted away. Great defense by Kraut.
Well, he does throw it past the marker. He's going for the first down, but Miami, again, Kraut is just covering that sideline very well.
Well, they got a good defensive backfield here. Kraut being one of the big ones. Defensive Player of the Year candidate at Clemson last season. That was a huge get in the offseason for Miami.
So Blaze Gunner able to get this out to the 28-yard line, and we get to see more of that Miami offense looking to pick up where they left off.
Well, the key is it going to be like the end of the half Miami that Michigan was able to get off the field, or is it going to be like the rest of the first half Miami that Michigan couldn't stop?
Hand off to Marcus Duncan to begin the drive, and Duncan, a big run to start it off with a gain of 13.
It's looking like that regular Miami offense, if that first play is any indication, it's they're starting to lean on Michigan now at this point. I wouldn't be surprised to see more Duncan here in the second half. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get more carries.
From their own 42, Richardson throwing a wide receiver screen. It's picked. Juice Staley taking it to the house. Touchdown, Michigan Wolverines.
Well, that's what we said they needed. They needed a player to step up. Staley reads that one, jumps it. No doubt about that one. Takes it to the house. A quick 7 points. Now they're down only by 15. Got an opportunity here. Things can get interesting now.
Well, momentum's a funny thing, and we've seen it over and over over the seasons. If Michigan can ride this wave of momentum, if they can get a stop on defense this next time or do the same thing they just did, this could turn into a very, very different ball game.
Michigan's going to bring out their offense, going to go for 2 to make it a 14-point game. Jones looking, and down he goes, sacked for a loss. And now Michigan, they failed on the 2-point try, so they can't bring it back to a 14-point game. Still going to need some help from the defense.
Well, they do, or they could use 2 2-point conversions. Their defense is going to need to get stops. That's the big thing. Now, throwing the interception, the pick 6, does that get inside Axel Richardson's head a little bit? And maybe the coordinator's head, does that change the way they call things?
Well, you know, and you have to interceptions like that, especially pick 6, they affect quarterbacks differently. We're going to see how Richardson responds here on this drive.
Richardson in the gun, the give to Marcus Duncan, who finds a crease and is able to squirt his way through for a gain of 14.
Well, that's almost the exact way the last drive started. So now are they going to try to throw a screen pass that's going to get picked off?
Richardson out of a pistol look on this first down and 10. Ball spot at the 38. Play fake. And he'll go underneath for Matthew Owsley, who is stopped on the spot.
Well, that was just good heads-up play by the Michigan defense. Owsley turns around, catches the ball, has nowhere to go with it, brings up a long second down.
From the gun, Richardson here on 2nd and 10, inside the 7 minutes to play here in the 3rd. Richardson with a blitz up the middle, shakes off Castle, but yet he still goes down for a sack slice. Spikes.
Yeah, that was a great blitz there by Castle. He wasn't able to bring him down, but Spikes was right there. We talked about that. If the defensive ends can create something, Spikes gets helped out by Castle, bails him out there on the missed sack, but it's 3rd and 17, another opportunity to get Miami off the field.
Trips, top the screen, long 3rd down. Richardson taking a shot to the right side and a wide open Woodard who had to dive to catch it.
How do you let him get that wide open on 3rd and 17? He's running down the sideline. There's nobody there. You know, they're in zone, but nobody comes over for help. Nobody's over there with him. If he doesn't have to dive for that ball, it's another 7 points for Miami.
Yeah, it's a busted coverage there. I don't know how that happens on a 3rd and 17, but Michigan shooting themselves in the foot on that play.
2 tight ends on the field for the Hurricanes, and it's a give. Duncan outside to the right and a stiff arm to get him to the Michigan 30.
Well, and again, Miami, they made their mistake, but they're trying to learn from it. It looks like here they're going to try to keep the foot on the gas. They've let Michigan crawl back into this thing. They're trying to put some more emphasis on it.
Play fake, Richardson going to tuck it and run up the middle, and he'll fight his way down inside the 20. Spot him at the 16, and Richardson up to a $150. He had 114 rushing yards in a game before, and it was against the Michigan Wolverines as an Oregon Duck. He has surpassed that against them again, and he'll go with a keeper here on the triple option, fighting his way forward for a gain of 9.
Well, Richardson seems to have Michigan's number, at least as far as the run game goes. Finding a little bit more momentum here. That was the big play there was that 3rd and 17. They had an opportunity to get him off the field. Now it looks like it's going to turn into points.
Trips, top of the screen, Richardson with Duncan to his right. Looking, throwing for the end zone, Staley there to pick it out of the air. The 2nd interception of the night by Juice Staley.
Oh, well, you know, I'm not sure that Juice Staley's comfortable losing to the Miami Hurricanes because he has made 2 just fantastic plays from his cornerback spot. Rescues Michigan right there, gives them another shot.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Staley's being that player.
From the gun, Jones looking to capitalize on it. And he will have to throw it away on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 10.
Well, it's better than throwing a pick. You didn't see what you like there. You just throw it away. That's okay. Live to fight another day, but you got to do something with this drive.
Trips to the bottom of the screen and to the right of the formation. Jones looking, throwing to the middle of the field. There's Tim Benjamin with a 1st down.
And that works. You know, get the 1st down. Keep the ball moving. At this point, Michigan is starting to put the pressure on Miami. They're starting to say, hey, wait, are we really going to let this team back in it? If Michigan can take it, then they can put all the pressure on the Hurricanes.
Jones to the left side this time. That pass caught, fighting his way over the middle. Kurt Andrews out to the 46.
Well, they're doing a good job of mixing up the receivers a little bit now. Andrews, the 4th wide receiver on this depth chart, he finally gets his first catch. Now mixing things up a little bit, it's going to make the Miami defense think a little bit more. Again, we like what we've seen from the Michigan offense in the second quarter and now here early in the first half. Their defense still a little sketchy, but as Matt said, they're putting pressure on Miami.
2-by-2 look and a play fake. Jones over the middle and the pass dropped in the hands of the walk-on, but he can't hold on.
Oh, well, you know, he's got to hold on to that. Jones delivers a good ball to him. The walk-on just not able to keep it in.
2-by-2 set again here for the Wolverines. Jones setting up the halfback screen for Dior Chapman, who gets away from Wilkerson, but not Griffin Richardson.
Well, Gilbert Wilkerson was having none of that. He read that, the 3-star defensive tackle, and at least slowed him down. Now it's a 3rd and 12. We'll see if Miami's defense can get Michigan off the field, which Michigan's defense wasn't able to do it against Miami on the 3rd and 17.
I want to see Tanner Jones take a shot over the middle of the field somewhere in between that zone. Avoid Kraut deep in the deep center.
From the gun with 2 backs in the backfield, Jones against a blitz. Going to the left side, there's Trey Jackson, a first down and more. Down inside to the Miami 28-yard line.
Does a great job reading the defense there, waits for the break. And as we see, when the receiver, he keeps his route going forward so that he knows he's got the first down when he catches the ball. At that point, picks up extra yards, but Michigan keeps this thing rolling. They just keep going.
Well, they run, or he leads them just enough so he can run after the catch, which was really important.
Tanner Jones stood in, absorbed the hit, and delivered a strike to keep the drive alive. Here's Castle underneath. Hit hard after a gain of 3.
Okay, go short there. That's fine. You know, try to get this defense to bite up again. Get them to, respect up front. I don't like going to Castle necessarily that much on that play, but you did get 3 yards at 2nd and 7. Now run it with Dior Chapman. You know, run a read option. Do something that Miami hasn't seen in a while.
Inside a 4-man to play here in the 3rd. 2 tight ends on the field, 1 to either side. They split Castle up into the slot on the left. It's Jones with time. A shot to the right side and a jump ball for Andrews down at the 14.
Well, that was a nice catch there. Nice read by Tanner Jones, finding the open guy. Throws it, wasn't the perfect pass. Andrews does a good job adjusting to it in the air. Picks up the first down. Michigan looking like they're going to get points again.
Trips top the screen. Jones looking. It's a 3-man rush. He'll go short to the left side, and Andrews gets flattened by Pennell.
Well, he lollipopped that thing in there just a little bit too much. He should have fired a bullet, at least give his man a chance to turn around, because Pennell absolutely comes in and just bamboozles him on that one.
That pass puts Tanner Jones up over 300 in passing yards for the very first time in his career.
I think his high was 256 coming in.
Yeah. Jones from the gun here with 2 tight ends. He'll look over the middle. Drop pass by Trey Greer.
Well, they need to hold on to these passes down here in the red zone. That doesn't help them. They could have had a first down, if not a touchdown. We'll see what they can do here. Tanner Jones' legs very dangerous at this part of the field.
3rd and 4 for the Wolverines from inside the 10. Halfback screen. Dior Chapman with some blocking, but not enough. Stopped inches short by Perry Pennell.
I think you got to go for it here. I don't mind that play call there. He had the blocking set up, came up just short. They're going to kick a field goal. This doesn't do anything for him. You got to go for it. You're at home. Why not go for the touchdown?
Out comes Cassius Castle from 21 yards away, and he puts it through. So it's 42-29 inside the 3 minutes of play here in the 3rd, and another quarter still to go. But the Wolverines, their defense, they're starting to step up too.
Well, I think the pressure is on Miami, because once you build up a lead like that and it starts eroding, you feel pressure to try to get it back. You don't like having a 4 or 5 score lead and seeing it go away. So the pressure's definitely on Miami. Now we'll see if Michigan's defense can get them off the field and maybe force another turnover.
If Juice Staley has anything to say about it, he'd love to get another one.
From the gun, Axton Richardson. And the give to Marcus Duncan outside to the right, cuts it back inside to get 8 yards.
A little over pursuit there. Allowed Duncan to get inside. A nice 8-yard run. I still don't like what I'm seeing for Michigan's defense outside of Juice Staley. They need to be a little bit more balanced and stay at home a little bit better.
Duncan up over 100 yards rushing tonight. Off the RPO, there's Duncan getting rocked by Castle, but he holds on for 6 yards.
Well, I mean, Michigan's defense is there, but they don't go for the pick, and they go for the big hit, try to force the ball loose, but they're just not able to get it right there.
2-by-2 set. And the draw play for Isaac Kraut, who checks in, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more.
Well, good thing. Discipline was what I was looking for earlier. Playing more discipline. They did it on that play. Didn't let them create any space there. They got to do that 2 more times. Get them off the field. You'll have a long field to drive, but at least you put yourself in position.
Richardson got Percy Gunn to jump and then throws it downfield, but no flag on the play, so 3rd and 10.
And, you know, Miami's offense right now has run a lot of plays. These guys have to be getting a little bit tired, and it's starting to show. And Michigan's defense is kicking in on them.
It's the 11th drive of the night for the Hurricanes. They go halfback screen. Marcus Duncan pushed out of bounds at his own 37. So gain of 4, and the Michigan Wolverines doing what they need to stay within reach of the Miami lead.
I don't like that play call there for Miami. We talked about it where the interception is going to come back to change the play calling and change the aggressiveness of Duncan or of Richardson. It seems like it has. Michigan with an opportunity now.
Tim Benjamin on the punt return out to his own 35-yard line, and out comes a Michigan offense that more often than not, out of their last 5 drives, they've been able to put up points.
I think it's 5 out of their last 6 drives, and they're looking good. They're starting to use different receivers. They've got Benjamin involved a little bit. Trey Greer had a really good series early in the game. Trey Jackson's been around there. Kurt Andrews jumping out. We haven't seen a whole lot of Owen Ryan. We see more Cletus Castle, but Dior Chapman might figure in a little bit more now as this game's getting closer.
Bubble screen to the left side. There's Kurt Andrews showing a little power and then fighting with Canal out to the 40. It's a gain of 6.
I don't mind that again. Keep it behind him. The blocking set up well for him. He fought to get 6 yards, 2nd and 4. Wolverines can pull within a 1-score game.
Well, remember how this game started for Michigan too. 3 consecutive 3-and-outs offensively for them, and now they've turned this into a comeback as Andrews with a great block and a great hit by the Miami defense.
John Dow just laid him out there. Came up, saw him a little bit of a lollipop, as Matt would say, leads him a little bit too much right over the middle of the defense. 5 Hurricanes there. Somebody's going to put a hat on him.
Well, I mean, there's just too much. There is no such thing as targeting in the CFSL.
From the 36-yard line of Miami, and Jones on a draw for Dior Chapman, eaten up. It's a loss of 2 on a night where Chapman has not been very busy.
Well, and again, I don't think he's going to a whole lot in this offense. They need to use him as a little bit of a change of pace. I think he's going to be more used as a receiver, which I don't know if that's necessarily his game, but that's the scheme that they built for themselves.
Jones looking, taking a shot to the left side, and a reach up by the walk-on Ed Black.
Well, nice catch by the walk-on there. Tanner Jones makes him climb the ladder for it. Throws that one a little high, but he's able to come down with it, gets down to the 20-yard line. Look out, folks. Michigan is knocking on the door again.
Perry Pennell, his 8th tackle tonight. They're actually going to spot him very favorably for Michigan at the 18-yard line of the Hurricanes. Tanner Jones is heels at the Miami 23. He'll look, dancing, and he'll check it down to the left side. Trey Jackson gets it down inside the 15.
Well, we've seen teams come back from 28 before, so this isn't unprecedented territory, but Michigan's knocking on the door, and they're definitely making this an interesting game.
Trips, bottom of the screen here. Tanner Jones with an adjustment. He'll look. Gets a 3-man rush, swinging it out for Cletus Castle. But he gets back to the line of scrimmage, so 3rd and 6.
Well, a longer 3rd down than you want right here, and you don't want a field goal in this spot. You want to get a touchdown here. Cut this thing to a 6-point lead.
I think you have to get a touchdown here.
The gun, halfback screen, and it falls incomplete. 4th down and 6 to end the 3rd quarter. Michigan trailing, but looking to put up the comeback on the Hurricanes. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Start of the 4th quarter, and Michigan looking. Jones to convert to the short side. Trey Jackson didn't get it.
Well, we talked about going for a touchdown. At that point, I think I'd rather just take the 3 points. I mean, they should have went for it on 4th and inches before, not there. Kind of crossed it up too much.
So out comes the Miami Hurricanes, backed up inside their own 10. Halfback screen of their own. Marcus Duncan, he's got blockers in front of him, and a foot race to get him out to the 41.
Well, I was going to say, Michael Rapine's been the safety blanket on 3 plays now tonight.
Well, he was literally the only guy back there. Michigan brought the house on that one. They were going for the safety. They were trying to get, they were trying to get Richardson in the end zone if they could, and that's the perfect play for the screen. That's how it works, and then we see Ropine's able to stop him, but that gives Miami a whole new life on this drive.
Going to rely on that defense. Going to need to rely on them to come up with something else again here.
Juice Staley has 2 interceptions tonight. The Michigan Wolverines going to need a couple more turnovers in order to tie things back up, as Richardson tucking it, running it, fighting, still bouncing off defenders as he goes down for a loss of 2.
Yeah, if you're Anthony Richardson, the AD of Miami, you got to be a little nervous there when he's getting popped. You see Cletus Castle come in. You got to wonder if eventually one of those guys knocks the ball free. He does a good job of holding on to it, but scary play there, I think, for Miami.
Well, he keeps getting knocked off his feet, and when he does, that ball's coming away from his body, so you keep waiting on that big hit to come in. Richardson done a great job so far holding on to it, but I'm with you, Mike. If I'm Miami's AD, I'm worried about my quarterback taking these shots.
Backed up to their own 39, Axton Richardson looking, swings it out to the left side. Marcus Duncan on the wheel route to get 12 and a new set of downs.
I thought they might have pushed him out a little bit short, but they gave him the first down. And again, Michigan, time's ticking away. There's still a lot of time in this quarter, but you don't want to let them get points, or you got to make something happen.
Give a reminder to everybody that the excitement does not end as Isaac Kraut gets 9 yards there. That we've still got another game to play tonight. The Florida State Seminoles on the road to take on the Oregon Ducks in Outson Stadium. And Florida State has never won a game in week 1. They're looking to change that here tonight. A handoff on 2nd and 1. Marcus Duncan gets 4 yards and moves the chains for the Hurricanes.
Well, right now Miami's doing what they need to. They're moving the chains, they're chewing up clock, and they're putting themselves in a situation to get more points on the board.
From the gun, the motion man on the triple option, and a huge shot dished out on Richardson.
I don't know how Cletus Castle's got so much energy. He's playing both sides of the ball. He's been very active on offense, and he's still got thunder in his body here on defense.
Or did he sneak over the Miami sideline at some point?
From the gun, 2 tight ends to the left, 2 receivers bottom of the screen. They're going to bring one of them in motion. That's Owsley coming over to the right side of the formation. Halfback screen, Marcus Duncan breaks one, but cannot get away from Juice Staley.
Now, as Percy Gunn slowed him down there just enough. Good job by the defensive tackle. Long 3rd and 11, although we saw Miami convert a 3rd and 17. You got to see if Michigan can actually get him off the field here.
On 3rd and 11 with Richardson, his heels at the Michigan 42. Halfback screen, left side, Marcus Duncan with blocking. Cuts it inside, gets to the 30, but not much else. Actually, Isaac Kraut on the catch.
Well, it looks to me like that Miami, they're trying to get a little bit of a shorter field goal, and that's exactly what they got.
Well, and it would give them a 16-point lead, so it would be 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions for Michigan. And this is interesting because the 3 points that they could have got on the last one instead of going for it would have kept it a 13-point game, which 2 touchdowns and a win. Yeah, Michigan's play calling on 4th down has been a little sketchy.
It's been a little iffy, but again, Michigan technically still down 2 scores, getting the ball back right here. Their offense has looked very good in the last about 7 drives, so let's see if they can keep it going.
Juice Staley on the return. He lost a football, but there to recover, Tim Benjamin. And so crisis averted by the Wolverines, but as pointed out, still trailing by 2 scores with 6:15 to play.
We're going to review it, but how bad would that be if you get 2 interceptions, you help get the team back in, then you become the GOAT, you fumble it and turn it over on a return? That would have been very disastrous for Juice Staley. It looks like he was down, so it looks like it's going to be all for naught.
Right.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So he was down when the ball popped free, and so Michigan will start this drive from their own 36, 6:18 to play, and they're needing a couple of touchdowns and a little bit more than that to help tie things up as Jones out into the flats for the walk-on for 3.
Well, now you're starting to see the depth play a role a little bit as they're starting to get some walk-ins that have been in. Use a lot of receivers in this air raid, and now they got some walk-ons playing in. You got to see if that plays a role in Michigan's offense in here in the 4th quarter.
First bomb the screen, the handoff to Dior Chapman up the middle. He gets a yard, not much else. Miami Hurricanes were back there by the time he got the handoff.
Well, that's one guy that should be rested.
Well, yeah, he should be because he's barely got to touch the ball all night long.
3rd and 6. Pistol set. And Jones with a pump fake. Dancing has to swing it out to the fullback. And he is stopped after a gain of 3. So 3 yards to go for a new set of downs. And Michigan is keeping their offense out there.
They have to.
They have no choice here.
In the gun with Castle and Chapman flanking them. They run the speed option. Tanner Jones, the first down and more out to midfield.
I don't hate that call.
I like the call. I would have liked to seen him cut it outside right there. Maybe kick in those afterburners a little bit. But, hey, they get the first down.
Actually spotted at the Miami side of midfield from their 49-yard line. Jones steps up, goes short. There's Chapman to get it down inside the 45.
I thought that was going to be a face mask, but they didn't give him the call on it. Michigan's got time here. They got to get 2 two-point conversions, so that's not the easiest thing in the world, but they got time to tie this game up.
Jones closing in on 400 yards passing tonight. Will likely hit it the way this game is going as he looks to throw and throws it away. So 3rd and 3.
Well, don't jinx him. We thought that Youngblood was going to get 200 yards rushing, and he wound up at 197, and that was with almost a whole quarter to go.
I put it out into the ether, and this is what happens. 3rd and 3, trips top the screen. And the give to Dior Chapman, a stiff arm on the defensive tackle, helping him to get down inside the 25, a gain of 19.
There's that pin-up energy that Dior Chapman's got on that run. You see him bounce off that D tackle, and he takes off, finds the hole, waves the defender, and then gets hit finally. But big gain for Michigan. They've got to get, they got to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on this drive.
From the 24-yard line of the Hurricanes. Inside of 5 minutes to play, nearing 4.5 minutes to go as Jones dancing to his right, able to avoid trouble, cuts it back upfield and a shoulder to get him down to the 10.
Well, Tanner Jones looks like he's possessed now. He had a great first down on the speed option. He's broken several sack opportunities. There he accelerates, picks up another first down. Michigan, they're staying in it.
Jones to throw. To the right side, and Kurt Andrews flat out drops it. Didn't even look it in.
Just hits him in the hands, and he drops it. That's just you're going to hate that one the next day.
2nd down now for Michigan as Jones against a 3-man rush. Dancing, back of the end zone, picked off by Isaac Kraut, the man who has been tested all night long.
Well, he almost had a couple earlier, and he finally comes away with one. It was a valiant effort by Michigan to fight back into this game, but alas, the Miami defense comes up with the big play late.
Well, that's exactly what they needed. Now Miami just needs to sit on Michigan, run this ball.
They're going to start with a run to Marcus Duncan. He will lose a couple of yards, though, and you start looking ahead a little bit if you're Miami, and you've got a Florida State team next week, and Miami's at home for that game. That's their home opener, and we'll see Florida State coming up in a little bit here tonight. But that's a big early conference game, especially the way Miami's looked tonight.
Well, we'll see how Florida State looks against Oregon, an Oregon team that we think is going to be really good this year.
Quick throw to the left side. There's Singer. He gets 5, so it's 3rd and 7. And so at this point, it's down inside of 4 minutes, closing out on 3.5. How much of a shot does Michigan have if they can get this stop?
If they can get this stop, the time is definitely not on their side. We're getting into onside kick territory here at this point. But the biggest thing they got to do is get this stop.
Oh, they will. Marcus Duncan pushed out of bounds after a gain of 4. So 4th and 3, 3:32 to play. And Michigan's offense going to have to kick it into high gear.
They are. They still got an opportunity, though. They got another stop on defense. Miami playing a little conservative there, but now we'll see if Tanner Jones can put it together and if their receivers can hold on to the ball.
Tim Benjamin on the return here. Gets into the open field. And the Miami defense on special teams able to corral him at the Miami 45, but excellent starting field position for the Wolverines.
Michigan playing like their life depends on it right now because it does. It absolutely does.
From the Miami 43, Jones. Looking, quick throw to the right side. There's Kurt Andrews and a gain of 4 to start.
It's not the biggest play, but at least he leads them out of bounds, so it's going to stop the clock temporarily. They got to move the ball further downfield, though.
From the Miami 39, Jones in the gun as we hit the 3-minute mark. He'll look, going short. There's Chapman, can't get the first down. It's a gain of 4.
Well, again, it doesn't pick up the first. I'd rather have seen that if we could, but Michigan not showing a whole lot of hurry right now. I would like to see them, pick up the tempo a little bit.
David Ware in his CFSL debut, 8 tackles, 2 for loss, 2 sacks as well. And Chapman off the handoff. The first down is what he gets, trying to get to the 30, but cannot quite do so.
Well, John Downs, the one that gets in there and takes him down. Michigan, like Matt said, taking a little bit too much time here, not showing enough urgency.
Down to 2.5 minutes to play is Jones taking a shot, and it's intercepted, and that will be the nail in the coffin for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, Perry Pinnell. First it was Isaac Crowd on the last drive. Now Perry Pinnell, a pair of All-American candidates at safety, both of them sophomores. And now you're seeing why Miami was picked to possibly be a national championship contender. They got a great offense, as we saw most of this game, and they got some really big players on defense.
They are backed up at the half-inch line. So this Michigan defense pinning their ears back, you would think, but the Wolverines not able to stop Woodard in the backfield. He gets 5.
Well, they still got 3 timeouts, so they could theoretically get the ball back again. But what we've seen from the offense the last 2 drives, not looking good.
Michigan next week, by the way, they go to take on a team that we saw on Monday night. They will go on the road to take on Will Slay and the Clemson Tigers as Marcus Duncan picks up that first down.
Well, you got to be aware of that magic rock, Matt.
Well, you do, especially going into Clemson, because it does send subliminal messages both over the broadcast and in its physical presence.
The gun and the give. Isaac Kraut getting the carry. Michigan still trying to call timeouts now and doing everything they can to try and come up with a turnover or something to have a hope and a prayer to get back into this one. But Duncan got to put the nail in that.
Yeah, no miracles tonight. Now they can just run it out, play it safe, take a knee, and, well, they're not going to, but they can definitely run out the clock here.
Well, and so with that, we can turn our attention now to Florida State and Oregon coming up tonight. We saw Oregon in the exhibition game, but Florida State we did not see. So this will be our first look at them and their offense and defense.
Well, they return a lot of players from last season. They went 3-6, wound up losing in the playoffs, but a lot of people thought they were going to be a playoff team, a better team last year. We'll see if they can put it together this season. Oregon's going to be a stiff test.
Well, you know, and think about if you're Michigan looking at this game right now, you think if we could have played 4 quarters like we played the last 2.5, how different would this outcome have been? You know?
That's big. Just a little bit of tweaks on defense, get their offense starting a little bit better, and I think they could be right in it.
The good news for Michigan is their first 2 games, because this one does not impact their conference record. The next game that they have, which is against Clemson, that does not impact their conference record. So it doesn't impact their playoff chances.
No, that's exactly right. You know, but it doesn't get any easier for them. You know, going to play the Clemson Tigers next week. But Michigan, they looked very good in the second part of the second quarter and in the second half. But you've got to give credit to Miami tonight. They played a complete game. They built a big enough lead that Michigan could come back.
So for Mike and Matt, I'm David. We'll be back in about 30 minutes with Florida State at Oregon as we give a shout out to everybody who's joined us here tonight in Miami with a big win, 45-29 on the road over the Wolverines. We'll see you back in 30 minutes.